Hey there, welcome to the Spider News. Today's tech headlines are: Samsung claims to have sold over 1 million Galaxy Folds. Samsung's first attempt at foldable phones was marred by so many issues that the company was forced to pull, redesign and relaunch the device a few months later. And while the idea of a $2,000 phone, admittedly a first-gen product, was never going to see skyrocketing sales, the fact that Samsung was able to sell 1 million Galaxy Folds is surprising nonetheless. Samsung Electronics President Young Sohn was present at the TechCrunch Disrupt event in Berlin, where he revealed that the company had found 1 million buyers for the Galaxy Fold. There's 1 million people that want to use this product at $2,000, he said. This number, of course, pales in comparison to sales figures for other Galaxy phones that Samsung is able to sell in a single quarter. However, even flagships like the S10 or Note 10 aren't as ambitious as the Galaxy Fold, which is still trying to prove and establish a new niche for itself. The fact that 1 million users were willing to spend $2,000 on essentially beta testing the device is indicative of the demand for innovation in smartphone form factors, even after Samsung's problematic second attempt. Sohn also stressed on the consumer feedback received for the foldable, which was only possible after releasing it to the public, and will help the company in making refinements to future models, such as going for a razor-like clamshell design that could also end up being easier on the wallet, reportedly costing less than half of its predecessor. Apple's China iPhone shipments fall. Apple's iPhone shipments in China fell more than 35% in November, marking their second straight double-digit decline, as sales of the cheaper iPhone 11 remained sluggish, brokerage Credit Suisse said on Thursday. Shares of the company fell more than 1% to 267.67 in early trading. Total iPhone shipments in China in the September-November period dropped 7.4% from a year earlier, Credit Suisse analyst Matthew Cabral said, citing data from China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. The latest iPhone 11 range hit stores in China in September, with short queues of die-hard fans, contrasting with the hundreds who camped out ahead of some previous launches. Apple rolls out free repair for iPhone 6's devices. Cabral also wrote that Apple would have a tough time pushing through tariff-related price increases to U.S. consumers if the 15% tariffs on billions in Chinese-made consumer goods come into effect on December 15. Apple has asked the Trump administration to waive levies on China-made Apple Watches, iPhone components, and other consumer products. President Donald Trump said last month he was considering the request. London court allows mass claim against Google over iPhone data. Apple's market share in China slipped to 5% from 7% in the third quarter, while Huawei Limited captured a record 42% of China's smartphone market in the same period, according to a report by market research firm Connelly's released in October. In its latest fourth quarter, Intel Comet Lake S leak teases AMD-chasing 6-core Core i5 to 10,600. Hype for hyper-threading. Oh look, it's another Intel chip spec leak, this time spilling some details about the upcoming 10th gen Comet Lake S desktop processors. Reliable chip-seeking info spotter AMMOS flagged a trademark result posted to Reddit, which shows what appears to be a final version of the Core i5 to 10,600, rather than an engineering sample as seen in previous leaks. One needs to take this stuff with a pinch of salt, but the specs for the Core i5 to 10,600 point, a 6-core, 12-thread processor running at a base clock speed of 3.3 GHz and ramping up to 4.7 GHz when at turbo boost speed. That's about on par with what we would expect a next-gen Core i5 CPU to have in terms of core counts and clock speed. After all, Comet Lake S chips are still going to be based on Intel's refined, but rather long in the tooth 14nm process node. Only Mobile Ice Lake CPUs are on Intel's latest 10nm fabrication process, though it is committed to bringing desktop processors based on that node at some point, just not likely in 2020. But the interesting thing with the Core i5 to 10,600 is that it will use Intel's hyperthreading tech, which should allow it to perform multi-threaded tasks with aplomb, thus making it competitive with AMD's Ryzen 3000 series CPUs, which are particularly good at multi-threaded workloads. In fact, the improvements AMD has made with Zen 2 and the multi-thread chops of the latest Ryzen CPUs appears to have pushed Intel to bring hyperthreading down to its mid-range desktop processors. So it would seem that Intel is reacting to this renewed competition to AMD, which is definitely a good thing for PC fans. We expect to see the Comet Lake S processors pop up early-ish next year, though by that time, it might be too late for Intel to properly see off the challenge. The Ryzen 3000 Pubg 0.16.0 update available. New Rage Gear mode, Snow Paradise and more features. New Pubg update brings new features and changes to the game. The update marks the beginning of the in-game Winter Festival and brings the anticipated Rage Gear mode. This time's update rewards include 50 silver, 2,888 BP and 3-day winter dress. The rewards will be made available to all the players who update before December 17. Tencent Games has released its major Pubg Mobile 0.16.0 update for Android and iOS users. The new update brings a number of new features and changes to the game. It also marks the beginning of the in-game Winter Festival and brings the anticipated Rage Gear mode. The update has a size of 0.67 GB on both Android and iOS. Apart from the introduction of the new Rage Gear mode, the game brings an addition to the classic mode. Pubg Mobile will now allow players to enter the Snow Paradise when waiting on the Arangel map Spawn Island, where they will be able to take cable cars on snow mountains and play freestyle snowboarding. This time's update rewards include 50 silver, 2,888 BP and 3-day winter dress. The rewards will be made available to all the players who update before December 17. The new Rage Gear mode will divide players into 2 teams, and the drivers or shooters will be randomly assigned. They will have to destroy enemy vehicles to win. The cars will be mounted with Gatling guns, shotguns and RPGs. Rage Gear will consist of 2 sub-modes, namely TDM mode and pickup mode. In the TDM mode, players will have to destroy enemy vehicles for points, and the first to achieve the target score wins. Whereas, in the pickup mode, the team that is able to collect the required number of point crates first wins. With the update, Pubg Mobile has added a button to switch to FPP, has been added to TPP in Classic, Arcade and Training Grounds. It also brings one of the most awaited feature, which is to use med kits, painkillers, energy drinks, bandages, first aid kits, adrenaline syringes and some consumables while moving. Bandages in the classic mode will continuously restore health. To combat the rendering issues of the game, Tencent Games will add an auto-buffering feature, which will automatically detect the combat frame rate and will help players lower the graphics quality of the match for smooth combat experience. Here's how you can upload live photos on an iOS device as GIFs on Twitter. Apple's iOS has a signature feature where it lets people take their live pictures. However, it wasn't really possible to post those live photos on social media apps like Twitter, as it ended up with being uploaded as a still picture until a few days ago. Twitter recently announced that iOS users can now post those live pictures as GIFs on Twitter without requiring any external converter app to do so. Apart from this new Live Photos feature, social media giant has also released other changes surrounding images. It'll now preserve the JPEG encoding on photos of up to 16 MB that you upload via web and won't transcode them. Now, in case you can't wait to post your live photos as GIFs on Twitter, follow these steps to use the newly updated feature. First step is to tap on the tweet icon on Twitter and select Live Photos option. You then choose whichever photo you'd like to upload as GIF from the camera roll. Select the GIF option at the lower left corner of your photo, and you'll be able to use the feature. That's it. Go ahead and start posting your GIFs on Twitter. A lot of other users have already taken to Twitter to share their GIFs. In case you're an Android user and wondering how you can do the same, then you need to use the GIF converter third-party to do so. Twitter hasn't currently rolled out WhatsApp will not work on these devices from next year. WhatsApp has emerged to be one of the most widely used app globally. This social media app has acted as a connector when it comes to connecting people throughout the world. If I say it is a kind of breathing element, I won't be wrong. Every now and then we keep on checking the app thanks to the groups feature it offers. With time, the videoing and photo sharing feature further increased its user base and made us more addicted to the app. However, soon the Facebook-owned app will stop working on millions of old devices. Sadly, WhatsApp will not work on these devices. WhatsApp will not work on these devices from next year. The users having Windows Phone will not be able to use the social media app after December 31. iPhone users running on iOS 8 or older will not be supported by the app after February 2020. During the same time period, the Android users running versions 2.3.7 or older will also be blocked. These horrific details were revealed in the blog by WhatsApp. In the blog post, company revealed, users of these OS are already unable to create new WhatsApp accounts or re-verify existing accounts. This is actually not a good news, however, if you are one of those people whose device. Thanks for watching. If you like this videos, then subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for more latest news updates. Stay tuned and peace.